Hi everyone and welcome. I'm your host Michelle Stewart, and I want to thank you very much for stopping by for our very first episode of Michelle Stewart TV. This is a channel that is really dedicated to being a catalyst for creative types to share their talents and their gifts with the world. So whether you're a musician or a teacher like me, or an author or an artist or an entrepreneur, any kind of, we're all creative really. So I'm hoping that the advice that I share with you on this channel will help you in your business and your life. And so I was trying to decide what should be the topic of the very first episode. And what I've learned through reaching well over 1 million views and 10,000 subscribers almost on YouTube, and being watched in 193 countries, literally every country on the planet, I can now look back and see the most important factor to my success was the hardest lesson for me to learn, but definitely the most important factor in my online success. And that was learning how to actually be myself on camera. Not act like me or try to act like the way I should be or act like anyone else, but to actually be myself on camera. And it was a hard lesson to learn. And so some of you might know me from my other YouTube channel, Barn Masterclass, where I teach the Celtic hand drum. And I really struggled with the very first video I had to make for that channel was Welcome to my YouTube channel. It took me 42 takes, and it was so painful to watch. I would just, I didn't know what I was doing, and I was all worried about how my voice sounded. I had polyps on my voice box, and the reason I started making videos was because I got really scared that I wouldn't be able to teach anymore, and I thought if I could just make videos and kind of get all my knowledge down on some way, that perhaps that was the answer for me. And so I was just so wrapped up in what people would think and how I was sounding and how I looked, and it was awful. It was probably one of the most difficult things I have ever done in my life. Like, I'm serious, Sarah. It's right up there with giving birth to my son Cameron, who was a 9-pound baby boy. And so that changed pretty quickly. I got really comfortable in front of the camera very soon, but there were certain things that made that a lot easier, and I'd like to share that with you because it's pretty painful when you don't know how to be yourself. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But as soon as you press that record button, something changes, right? We get all in our heads. And so I have a bit of a ritual that I do when I'm setting the tripod up or getting my computer ready and getting ready to record. And that is, I listen to a recording by, it's actually a spiritual life coach, Crystal Hughes, and I got her this recording from a coaching program I was in many years ago, and it just really helped me get grounded, to remind me. Basically, the message of the training call was to focus on, how can you serve? How can you come to the video with such a clear intention of wanting to help someone else that it takes all the focus off of you worrying about, what people will think, how you look, how you sound, and you literally can take your ego and just put it over there and then be completely present and put the focus on who you can help. It's like a switch that flips in my head when I listen to this recording, and it makes making videos so much easier. And so I really struggled with that at first, because when you don't know how to be yourself, it's actually really hard. And when you get it and you understand how to be yourself and be present, it's really easy. So there's no gray area in between. And so I talked about this in the chapter in a book that I was part of, Hot Mom on High Heels. I wrote a chapter. This became an international bestseller, by the way. The Authentic Clone, Taking the Mystery Out of Reaching Your Global Audience. And it's a topic that's really near and dear to my heart, because this was really hard for me to see myself on camera, to hear my croaky voice, to just, yeah, you know what it's like, right? If you've ever, so many people that I talk to and who I try to encourage to do what I do, because I have so many talented musician friends, teacher friends who are just exhausted, and they kind of want to know more about what I do, but I don't like to see myself on video, and they kind of use that as an excuse. So I want to share with you some tips that I find helps me get in that frame of mind in the state of being, of really being present and putting the intention on helping, because that's the most important thing. People aren't stupid. People can sense, and they can tell from watching a video if you're genuine or not. And so you want to make sure that you set a very clear intention before you even press the record button. I still, to this day, I still need to do that. Otherwise, I'll be just too much in my head. And so some of my tips on being authentic. I mean, authentic is so overused nowadays, but this is the best word that I can come up with. And it's, if you put the focus on serving other people, all of a sudden, it's almost like you can't focus on them and you at the same time. So when you focus on them, you can't be all wrapped up in yourself, and kind of, you just get over yourself. Not trying to emulate other people and just be the best version of you. And I have a funny experience with this. When I was trying to get, a little bit of footage under my belt and just getting used to myself on camera, I watched some YouTube channels, and I found this one, iJustine, I think she's called, and she is really zany and silly, and just, she's got millions of followers on YouTube. And I remember watching her and thinking, well, maybe I should act like iJustine. And I recorded a video of trying to be like her, and it was just ridiculous. It was like I didn't take my meds that day or something, It was like, or I was on some kind of weird drugs. It was just, it made it very clear to me that I can't try to act like anyone else. It just won't work. So you have to, you can only be you. The next step I had was not worrying about what other people think. And this gets so much easier when when you really find your purpose and you know why you're doing what you're doing. Yeah, that's a hard one, not worrying about what people think. I like to say that, but I still, I'm a human being and I have feelings. And so, yeah, we still care. As you get older, it gets a little bit easier to not care, though. Leaving your ego at the door, or laughing at her when she tries to take you down, because she will. So I find I catch myself a lot of times thinking, that's just my silly ego trying to take me down, and it does kind of help. Speaking to the camera like you're talking to your best friend, because if I try to, pretend I'm giving some kind of big speech, I don't know, I just kind of shift into a different mindset. If I'm trying to sitting here and trying to talk to the camera like I'm talking to a friend, my voice changes, my mannerisms change. It's so much more casual and easy. Not comparing yourselves to others. That's another killer, right? That's probably one of the hardest things not to do. And it's very easy to see, oh, there's someone else doing exactly what I want to be doing, so, they've already done it, right? But you will say what you need to say in a way that will really speak to people differently from other people. So it's, please don't let the fact that someone else is already out there doing what you want to do stop you, because there aren't enough people in the world that need everyone's help. And you have a talent for a reason. You don't have it so that you can keep it all to yourself. You have it to share. And I do believe that our gifts and our talents, they're not ours to keep. You're given them so that you can share them. Okay? And and that's how the next step is being unique. And that's how you are unique, because no one on this planet has ever been just like you. There will never be another you. And so being unique is easy when you think of it like that. And not being afraid or embarrassed about being ferociously passionate or enthusiastic about what inspires you. So those are my top tips for how to be yourself on camera or in videos. And I would really encourage any of you who've been sitting on the fence about making a video, just do it, okay? And I would love for you to leave a comment below this video to let me know if you did it. And share your channel with me. I'll go over and I'll subscribe to your channel. And so I hope that inspired even just one person today. And that's kind of what you have to do when you're making videos. You can't think, oh, I want to reach millions of people, because that's really overwhelming and can be intimidating. But if I can get one person to make a video, then it was worth taking the time to make this video today. So thank you very much for being with me. I hope you subscribe to my channel here at Michelle Stewart TV, and I would love to hear your comments down below. If you like this video, please like it. And if this doesn't really pertain to you, all of us probably know some creative person that needs to hear this message today. So please feel free to share this video, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.